Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Mi Gente on Air. I am Larry Rodarte, and I've got an exciting show for everybody tonight. And I'm missing my other side of my headphones here, but I'm so glad that many of you are going to join us tonight. I encourage everybody to give comments and to ask questions. We've got James Garza from Cobb King, and he's going to be joining us here on Mi Gente on Air. And he's got a really good thing going, and he's starting to expand his business. He's going to open up at the SVRC Marketplace tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and the 29th of June. And I'm really excited for him because, as you know, SVRC is a great facility. It has a lot of businesses in there. And I think with Cobb King and James Garza, he's going to really change the dynamic of the place. And what I mean by that is, I think he's going to attract a whole new crowd of people that are going to come in and see SVRC for the very first time. So, we have to support him as a community, and I'm really excited to have him here on Mi Gente on Air. So please come on into the room. Like I said, give questions or comments, whatever, because Mi Gente on Air is about our people, our community, and it's about Latino concerns and contributions and our culture. And that's what today's show is all about. So please come on into the room and help me welcome James Garza to Mi Gente on Air.
Welcome to Mi Gente on Air on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Now, here is your host, Larry Rodarte.
Good evening. Welcome back. Welcome to another edition of Mi Gente on Air. There's a lot happening, just like every week, from the hearings on January 6th to the overturning of Roe versus Wade this week after 50 years to bipartisan legislation on gun control. Yet here we are in the midst of summer, and it's a time to enjoy life in the warmth of sun with festivals, quinceañeras, and family. Well, this weekend, I had an incredible family reunion, the Diaz family reunion, the descendants of Zenovio and Cecilia Diaz from Michoacan and Guanajuato, who immigrated in 1919 to the United States with their 3 children. And from that lineage, over 1,000 descendants, and I'm proud to say I'm one of them. And this weekend, we came together with so many hugs, smiles, and laughter. I'm wondering, is anyone else experiencing reunions in this post-pandemic world? It seems like everyone was ready to come together after 2020 and 2021, the lockdowns and such. Well, at my family reunion, there was this guy giving out corn, elotes to be exact, a Mexican staple at parties and festivals. He is the Cobb King, and my family was in for a real treat. The elote is the classic Mexican street food of corn on the cob, steamed or grilled, slathered in cheese spike sauces like Parmesan cheese that are becoming a huge hit in the Saginaw Great Lakes Bay region. They will open soon in the SVRC complex this week. And today I have him in our studio. So please help me welcome the Cobb King himself, Mr. James Garza, to Mi Gente on Air. Welcome, James, to Mi Gente on Air.
Thank you, Larry. Thank
How,
you.
how you feeling? How you feeling? You're excited?
Oh yeah. I'm excited. It's a long time coming. Me and my family, we put in a lot of work. Into Cobb King to get it where it's at now, and we're excited to take the next step.
I know you are, and I want my listeners to understand, where does James Garza come from first and foremost?
Well, I was born here in Saginaw, Michigan, Bridgeport, Michigan to be exact. I'm the youngest out of 7. My father retired from General Motors back in the early 90s. And he moved us all down to San Antonio in the late 90s. And I've always came back and forth. I've had family here. My brother Dave lives here. He's always lived here with his family, and so I've always been hop back and forth from Texas and Michigan, and that's how I'm familiar with the trends down there. And after me and my wife, we came back to visit, and her family's from Saginaw as well. She has a big family just like yours, and it was it was hard for her to stay away. So we'd come back and visit, and we had a conversation about sticking around. I actually got a job at a Houseback Pickle Company here in Saginaw.
All right,
Yeah.
Hausbeck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to Houseback. So I was there for about 7 years, and I've always did to get into the Cobb King thing. I know we're getting a little ahead, but it's always been a side hustle for me. I've always worked a 9 to 5, and on the weekends we'd go out and do festivals, and that's how we got started.
Well, it's funny because we were just talking as you came in here that your brother is Augie
Yep.
Garza, which I had no idea.
Yep.
And I went to school with Augie. He was one of several of the Mexican Americans that were attending Bridgeport High in the 80s. And James, Angela Blanco says, James, the Genesee Gardens. And she's got big exclamation point. So she knew. I didn't know.
Yeah.
But that's funny how, years go by and then you find out that, like in your case, the little brother is here and starting a business. And so, welcome to Mi Gente on Air. We've also got Val Blanco who says, big congratulations to you, James, and your family. Not bad at all for a Bridgeport Bearcat from the Gardens. You got our support always. So
I appreciate it.
And that's something. Well, tell us exactly what is an elote according to you.
Well, your intro there kind of hit it right on the head, on the nail. It's a steam. Well, it's corn on the cob. You can steam it, you can grill it, you can roast it. That's what we do. We roast it. The corn, it's lathered in butter, mayo, cheese, and lime, cayenne. You got to have some kind of spice on there.
Oh yeah.
You can do chili powder, cayenne powder. But basically that's it. Now we shave it into a cup, and if you want to get like technical, esquites is the word. They describe the corn in the actual cup. We haven't got there yet, and I didn't really want to kind of throw everybody off with that or trying to introduce something. It's hard enough for people to say elotes right now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly when in your intro, that's exactly how it's described.
Well, it's funny because as we have the greater audience on WSGW here with Mi Gente on Air, maybe they've never heard of an elote, and
Right.
and how can we be starting a whole program, a whole show on corn on the cob? My producer here, Jonathan Detz, looking at me and say, "What are you guys doing?" But hey, you're part of the farm show earlier, right? But it's that big of a deal now here because James has made something that many of us have seen, of course, down when we visited Texas and San Antonio or what have you. And James has brought it here to our community, and it's going over really big. And so, I want you to tell the audience a little bit about the Cobb King story. How did it all begin?
All right. So I would say, well, my brother, I got to give my brother props. My brother Dave, he's our middle brother. He's the one that didn't go with us to Texas. He stayed here, but he's always back and forth visiting our parents, and he would go down to Mexico and like explore. He'd go down there and shop, and he brought back this big trailer. It was a corn roaster, and I think it was made by like in Mexico. Real Mexicans made this thing right on the border, Bronzeville and Mexico, and he brought that up in the early 2000s. So he was the first one to experiment with the elotes, and he got onto the island one year, and I remember he said it was just crazy. He could not keep up, dripping sweat. There's the lines all the way out, and
you're talking for the Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. He did the Cinco de Mayo years. I want to say it was 05, maybe 06.
Mm-hmm.
He did a Cinco de Mayo event. I think he was just him and his wife at the time, and he could not keep up. He said it was great. It was a great experience, but he did not want to be a vendor at the time. So it was just a toy for him. He used it at the parties, and it just kind of stayed behind, and it got left out, and they didn't really keep up with maintenance on it. It just stayed there for years. And me going back and forth to Texas, I was real familiar with the elotes and the fruit cups and the frutas. So one year I asked about it and nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted to do anything with it. So I had a buddy, my buddy Phil he's a really good mechanic maintenance guy. You know, he knows his way around the tools and he helped me drag the thing out. It was buried in grass, beehives, and we got it pulled out of there. We got it pulled out of there and we gave it a whole remodel and we got the thing. I mean, we even ordered a book online, how to start a corn roasting business. And we went from there. But my buddy Phil and Dave, my brother Dave, are the ones that were there with me in the beginning to get this thing off.
And so who has kind of been behind you in this endeavor? I know I saw your wife there
Yep.
at our family reunion this weekend, and it was you two serving all the people there. And you guys got it down. I have to admit, I mean, you did it, in 15, 20 minutes,
Yeah.
you served
About
over 100 people.
Yeah, about 100 years.
And they loved it. They absolutely loved it. And I don't see any of my family in the live stream, but we do have Toyo Rosas who says, "Congrats, bro. Hardworking pays off." Boom.
Thank you, bro.
With a fist.
Appreciate it.
And then Cynthia Favela, she says, "Love the elotes from Cobb King." So you got your following out there, and I want to ask you, what was Cinco de Mayo like for you this year? Because I mean, it was huge. We had a huge crowd out there at the Jolt Credit Union Event Center, and the lines were just enormous for you all day long. I'm not kidding. All day long, from 12 noon till 5 in the afternoon, James Garza and the Cop King crew had lines. What was that like?
It was great. It was awesome. I mean, first of all, we got to give thanks to you, Larry, and the Civica, and his family, and all the help that he had. I know you guys are shorthanded too, and you guys did a great job for the turnout we had. I mean, all the vendors were busy. Everybody, it was just a great turnout. It reminded me of when Chris Perez was there that year.
Yeah, in 2019.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And do you think it's like our family reunion? I mean, we hadn't gotten together in several years, and the same thing with Cinco de Mayo. I think everybody was ready.
Yeah, everybody's itching to get out there and get back with the family and all the tragedies that hit. Everybody just wants kind of things go back to normal.
Yeah, but I think that you guys are at a different level now. Cobb King, I've seen you guys start, and I think that it's really taking off. And I think with the SVRC, the addition of you're going to have a booth there at SVRC Marketplace. You're going to really open the door to the greater community of people, and I think it's going to make a big difference for even the SVRC Marketplace. What are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel the same. And maybe it's what was missing in there. I mean, they have a lot of great vendors in there now, but that was my hopes. My hopes is to bring more people, make them aware of it, because it's a super nice facility. Everything in there is brand new. And I was really impressed when I did my first walkthrough. Shout out to Rachel. She runs all the whole space there and the vendors, and she deals with the vendors really well. But yeah, that was my hopes, to bring a whole new crowd in there. And we're going to do now. It's going to be a lot better for us because we're not chasing napkins with our tent blowing everywhere out in the weather, right?
Yeah,
we got our feet grounded, and it gives us a chance to come with new ingredients. And I have a lot of ideas that I've just been holding back, waiting to get my foot in the door and to bring it all to Saginaw. That was my goal in the first place. I follow social media with other vendors out in LA and in Texas and just different areas, and that was my whole goal, is to bring it here to Saginaw and do different things. So I'm excited.
And to my greater audience, listening audience out there, just imagine corn on the cob on a summer day when you were little and you soaked in the butter and just tasting so good. And if you look at the pictures on the live stream there, this is what James and Cobb King are doing. They're adding to it the Parmesan cheese. That's what is it called, or is it something else?
No, it's cojito cheese. That's a more traditional Mexican cheese, a cojito. And we do a mix of the cojito and the Parmesan, without giving away too many of my secrets. But that's what we use. But Parmesan works just as good.
Yeah, and it's delicious. And I know when I was at the Cinco de Mayo line in 2019, it was huge lines then, because we had Chris Perez, Selena's husband, as the headliner. and James actually put out a purple elote in honor of Selena, which went over really good. And I remember I waited to the end and to get my elote, and he sold out. So I didn't get one that year, I think. And so like this year, I just went right up there despite the lines, as the organizer. I thought, I'm going to use my authority here. And I went right up to the lines, and I looked over at you and said, hey, man, and oh, man, they were delicious. That's the one thing that I look for at the Cinco de Mayo to eat, because, all the other lines are just as long too. But, I get the tacos all the time. But I wanted an elote because to me, that's celebrating Cinco de Mayo and the festival in itself. So, it was really nice to see that you were doing so well there at the Jolt Credit Union event park.
Right, and I believe that was year 6 or 7 for us. So
really,
yeah. This hasn't been like an overnight deal. I know there's a lot of guys out there that want to start food trucks, or it doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of hard work. But we've been at it for like 6 or 7 years.
Wait, you mean when you asked me to be in the Cinco de Mayo, that was already 6 or 7 years ago?
Me and wife did the numbers. I was like, man, this is like our 6th or 7th one. But like I said, it's just now getting really popular. And that's what I hear a lot too. People, I'm going to come down there. I want to get an elote. So it's kind of, we're trying to make it a staple now when you think of the Cinco de Mayo in Saginaw. We'd hope Cop King will be there every year.
Yeah, and I know you got that space right there by the gate. Yeah, you and somebody else. Who's the other one that fights for that one?
I'm not sure. Wella's Kitchen.
I think it was Wella's. I think it's Wella's or Maria's. I can't remember, because we've had Wella's Kitchen, Maria's Restaurant, TNT. I mean, we got all the big hitters, and then all of a sudden, Big Pete's Tacos comes into the picture. Had nowhere to put him. He comes in with that truck. We just threw it right in the middle. Did you see that?
Whataburger. Tyson Whataburger was there.
Oh yeah, Whataburger too. And then the Civica kind of suffered because your lines went into our space, and everybody was confused this year. Didn't know where the potatoes were.
I didn't even look up. I was grinding so hard. I kept my head down. I didn't even want to look up because I was worried. I get anxiety like the day before a big event like that.
But at the Cinco de Mayo, I went up to you and I said, so how, I said, I don't know what I asked you, but I said something like, so how's it going or something. And you looked up at me briefly. You were right in the midst of doing what you do, and you said, I've been waiting for this all year.
For sure.
And at that point, because we hadn't had Cinco de Mayo in 3 years, I mean, I can imagine, the anticipation of having the elotes there, and then wow, what a beautiful day we had.
Oh yeah, it was great.
The weather, the turnout, everything was just wonderful.
Everything's awesome.
Yeah. And Val Blanco on here is saying again, does he do private parties? And yes, he does, because he had the DS reunion this weekend and it went over so well. I had a graduation right after your reunion as well. So yeah, we do but private parties and events like that. Us just hit the inbox on the Cop King page, and we'll get you on the calendar. Do you see that there are others outside of the Latino community that are finding out more about elotes now?
Oh yeah, especially in the beginning. Besides the elotes, our frutas, our fruit cups is a big deal. It's getting more and more popular as well. It's probably coming neck and neck now, or we sell just as much.
The fruit?
Yeah.
So if you look at the live stream picture there, tell us about that. What is
that's an item that's coming soon. So we're kind of doing a soft opening at the SVRC. I locked my vendor in. So that is it's a water ice. That middle there, that scoop is an Italian water ice. So it's different. It's non-dairy, fresh fruit, frozen in like a batch freezer. So that's what's in the middle there. But then it's topped with fresh fruit on the outside. So we're gonna have that item as well at the SVRC marketplace in different flavors.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back to that sauce you see on there, the red sauce, that's chamoy, and that's the item I'm talking about. It's got really, really popular in the beginning years back. Nobody knew what it was. I had to explain it to them a bunch of times. It's weird. It's a Chinese fermented plum that they make the sauce out of.
Wow.
And it goes great. I know everybody's familiar with tahini, the dry seasoning.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the liquid form of it, I would say.
So
to describe it.
you're really bringing some culinary culture here to our community in Saginaw. And if you notice on that picture that you had mangoes
Mhm.
and the watermelon and the cucumbers, it
Yeah.
was just always a part of, I see a lot of Mexican traditions like you see there.
Mhm.
And then that sauce, that looks so good right
Yeah,
there.
that's our cucumber limeade right there. That's our signature drink there.
Hmm. And
Aguas fresca.
now, does the agua fresca there that I see, does it incorporate salt or does it incorporate sugar?
Sugar. It's
Sugar.
sweet. It's a cucumber limeade. That's what that
Mm.
is. And then I top it with fresh cucumbers and then the chamoy and tahini.
Pepino loco.
Pepino loco. So we did that for the pepino picantes, pepinillo picantes for the Midland baseball game. That was like our drink there that we brought with us.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
what is happening in our community? I mean, thank you to the Great Lakes Bay region for being so inclusive of Latino culture right now, because that was a great event with the Great Lakes Loons,
that was great.
and giving recognition and homage to the migrant workers in our area for all the work and years that they have, brought food to the tables for everybody. But I know that that was a fun event for you, and that was just a week ago, and it's coming up again in July because they're doing 3 days this summer.
Yep.
And so, what was the response there to the Midland crowd?
Oh, it was great. It was a great response. They invited us back because this time they have like a little food court on the side of on the entrance, and not a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people knew that we were there. The ones that did come out because they had live band playing. The ones that did come out to hear the music, then they definitely came and shop with all the vendors as well. TNT was out there. Willis Kitchen was out there with us as well. But it was a great response. But I did get a lot of questions. Hey, what's this? What's that? What's the chamoy? How spicy is that? But their fruit cups did really well out there as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we got invited back for the
fruit cups. What I see with them is they're very attractive. You put them out on the table and you see them, and everybody is like, "Oh, I want one of those." Because who doesn't love good fresh fruit? Cut up and stuff. That's the work of presenting fruit. If you have it in your refrigerator, you got to cut it up and make it nice to eat it. It takes time or whatever. You go to Cobb King and it's right there, and you just you pay $5 to $10?
Yep, depending on the size.
Yep, and you've got it right there. It's your for your tongue to enjoy, your palate. And what is that you're putting on there besides that one that you talked about is the plum juice?
Yeah, so it's the chamoy. We use tahini, fresh lime juice. So traditionally it was cucumbers, watermelon, pineapple, and I'm introducing a couple of different things with that as well. I'm probably gonna do some coconut. If you go down to Texas, it's all available. Jicama. I don't know how you say that in Spanish. What is it? Jamaica. Yeah, I just did that last time we were out, and that was a good response. Have you had it before? How would you describe it? It's like, it looks like a potato. It tastes like an apple, but it has a crunch, kind of like a lettuce apple kind of. But if you dump chamoy and tahini and lime juice on it,
it's a little firmer.
Yep.
Good fiber, by the way. But I've had that, and that is, man, and that's all going to be at SVRC coming up this summer.
Yep.
Wow. Now, is your gig at the SVRC, is that just a summer thing, or is that year round? Or
no, that's year round. We're in there permanently now, or my 2-year deal is going to be in there, and the goal for Cobb King is probably a brick and mortar after that. So we're kind of getting our feet wet. Like I said, it's a long time coming. We've been at it for a while now, and that's what I always hear. Hey, where are you guys at? Where are you going to be set up at? So I know every time I got some advice, some business advice one time, and it stuck with me. You got to keep them wanting more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's perfect for SVRC. They're open from Wednesday to Saturday from 10 to 6. So I think that's just enough for me to get in there and get my feet wet, and then hopefully we'll move on to bigger and better things from there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Joanne Vasquez, I believe you're related to her.
Yep.
She says, give all the props to his help. And we got to talk about one individual. Her name is Dolores Cameron Vasquez, and we call her through Cassell, because she's over there helping us do patitos on Thursdays at the Unión Cívica Mexicana. She's officially a member now. and she's also helped you. And I hear she's kind of like the VP,
Yeah.
according to your wife,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Cobb King. So let's talk about Cassell.
Oh yeah, Cassell. Cassell brings a lot of experience to the table as well. She's great with customers. She gets them in and out, and through her years of management, her management positions at her current jobs, she's great for Cobb King. She recommends items. Hey, you want to try cucumber limeade today? So that's something that we're not really familiar with that, but she does a great job, and she helped us out a lot. I got to give a shout out to my sister, my brother-in-law, Rosie and Jesse. They're there through thick and thin, rain or shine. They're there helping me all the time. My wife. I even got my kids out there.
Yeah, your daughter. I was gonna say my sister saw your daughter at Cinco de Mayo, and she couldn't believe that she had grown as she did because she was her teacher back in elementary school. Well, she's not much older than elementary age right now, is she?
She's 12.
She's 12. Okay, so yeah, I don't know when that was, but I know my sister taught like third graders. So, but that was really nice to see because you made it a family affair. And Cassell, she's a doer. She's a doer. She makes things happen. So she's a hustler. That's a good word for Cassell.
Yep.
But it's really important to give the props to your workers because that's what really helps and makes the business as well. So we're gonna go into commercial real quick, and we're gonna come back with James Garza, the Cobb King himself, here on Mi Gente on Air. So we got some good feedback here in the live stream. You got a number of different questions. Val Blanco says, so no more pop-ups. And then you've got Juanita Rodarte who says, your crew rocked it. So there are some Cameron Dolores Cassell says, I love you, James. Yeah, so, you got some really good feedback and all.
Where's the love for Larry?
Where's the love for Larry, Cassell? But anyways, so thankful to all of you who are making these comments in support of Cobb King. It seems like there's a lot of people in the room tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Jonathan? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we made it up to 30 viewers, which is a lot for us here.
Yeah, any live stream is a lot, unless you're on a national level. But for local, that's quite a bit. And I think we're going to get a lot of feedback and a lot of views. So Champ Garcia, who's part of the Garza family. His mother was a Garza, says, congrats, primo. Los Garzas looking forward to visiting you at SVRC. Wow, so you got some good feedback. So thank you for being with us. Continue to stay with us. We got another half hour here with James Garza on Cobb King on Mi Gente on Air.
You're listening to Mi Gente on Air on WSGW.
Welcome back, Mi Gente. Thank you for being with me here tonight. We are here with James Garza of Cobb King as he is at the threshold of starting his new business inside, getting out of the weather and dealing with the weather. But he's going to be opening up at SVRC tomorrow on June the 30th. Is it the 29th or 30th? I'm not even sure.
It's 29th.
The 29th, yeah. Well, when this actually airs on Sunday evening, you will already had a few days under your belt and going into your second week. And I want to all my listeners out there, I want to say happy 4th of July. We're coming on the 4th of July. And when this airs, it'll be the day before 4th of July. So have you been or have told with the idea of being at the 4th of July with the fireworks this year?
Yeah, I got invited up for the 4th of July fireworks this year. I just I wasn't really familiar with the island. I think I'm probably just gonna enjoy the holiday with the family this year, just because the SVRC is taking up a lot of our time. Everybody's working hard to get everything ready and prep for that. So I think after I put in my first couple weeks in there, I'm probably gonna want a little R&R with the fam.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've got a lot of support for you here tonight on Mi Gente on Air. I've got Yolanda Garza who says, Cobb King, love you, bro. HOG Transport, whatever that means.
My brother's that's my sister-in-law, so that's my brother Dave's trucking company. Shout out House of Garza Transport.
All right. And then we got Angelica and Jesse Vasquez who's saying, many blessings to my cuz. Who aren't you related to? To my cuz James Garza on his new venture. So you're kind of like me, got all these cousins, huh? Sure. And Teresa Gomez, she says, so proud of you, James.
Yeah.
And Sylvia Campos, watching from home. Chuck Medell, my family. You're related to Chuck too?
I believe so.
Or maybe he's talking about me. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. Yeah.
We're all primos, right?
Right. So, you know, Alex Ornales, he says, congratulations on your new venture, you know. And it's nice to see so many of you younger Latinos who are out there in the community who are starting businesses. I know like Jesse Vasquez and Chuck Medell, you know, Alex Ornales with what he's doing, you know, with the banners and stuff. I mean, that's really nice to see. And, you know, I want to let many of you know that, you know, we need to really start up the Latino or Hispanic Business Association again. We had a great thing going in the 90s and in the 2000s. And, you know, then COVID came and everything else. And, you know, we really need to have that forum, if you will, of business people coming together, like the Chamber of Commerce. It's kind of like a Chamber of Commerce where, you know, we have business people who give advice to the younger business people who are starting up, because, you know, I don't care how old you are or how long you've been in a business, you can always take advice.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's, you know, really nice to see so many that are starting and to be entrepreneurs in our community. And Dolores, again, Cassell, she's getting a lot of props here. She says, let's start it, you know. And William Flores says, congratulations. And El País del Norte, one of those names again that they put out there instead of their real names, Elotes Sabrosos and Bendiciones. I can't even say that. But, you know, you've got a huge following, and that's what I think has really pushed you to where you are today. Because if you don't have that following, it's going to be difficult. And I think maybe in those first couple of years, that's how it was for you. As you continued on and you pushed, and, you know, it kind of was a side thing, a side hustle or whatever. But I noticed now that you actually quit your full-time job. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And you said on a post, I've seen it, you said, it's time to follow my dream. So tell us about that.
Yeah. It was a long time coming. Like I said, it was a lot. I overthink a lot of things. Like I said, when I jump into something like this, I'm like anybody. I'm coming in with more confidence, I guess, because we've been doing so good, so successful. I can thank social media and all the supporters or people following us, our loyal customers. But that's what kind of put me over the edge to make the decision, talking to my wife to go ahead and do this full time. And the way I see it, if I don't do it, somebody is, right. The pandemic brought a lot of entrepreneurs out, a lot of hustlers out, and there's a lot of people that weren't doing things that now they're doing a lot of side hustles, and it's been good for them. Some failed. Some, I know there's a lot of people buying food trucks and then they realize it's a lot of work. You know what I mean? They spend a lot of money, and now all those trucks and equipment's for sale. This isn't something that happened over the night. Like I said, we're at it 6 or 7 years, and social media, I think everything was just a perfect storm that came together for us. And that kind of gave me the confidence to take that leap, and to quit my full-time job. I was working out, and I was working in the cannabis community, in a cannabis business that was going, and it's doing well, the company I was with, but I just need bigger things for myself, running my own business. So,
and you know, you mentioned about the pandemic and all, and I know it was very difficult for everybody, and I know that even with the Unión Cívica Mexicana, you know, we really struggled there at the hall, because during the pandemic we lost, you know, all rentals, and we lost, you know, our signature events to raise money and all. And yet last Cinco de Mayo, we kind of came together in a small way, and we said, hey, James, come on out there. We're going to be at the on Wadsworth there, 2715 Wadsworth. And let's see what we can do. And lo and behold, in the midst of a pandemic, it was a little safer, but we were still wearing the mask and everything.
We're outside as well.
And we were outside, and we had a huge crowd, believe it or not.
It was a really good turnout.
Yeah. And I think that's something that I know that Casal has said, let's have, something similar to that, where we can, bring some people out to the Unión Cívica Mexicana, because sometimes that gets a bad rep in terms of its location, but I think it's a great neighborhood. I've been there on and off, through the years, and since I've been there as the operational manager, I feel really safe there now on the north side, and I don't have any problems. We don't have any problems there. And what we're looking to do is to pave that pavement, the parking lot. That's going to be a big undertaking for the Unión Cívica Mexicana members, but I think it's something that we need to do to upgrade. That building has been sitting there since 1960, and it's historical, and it's part of a piece of our Latino culture here in Saginaw. And so, we need to keep it going. And I'm going to call on you. I'm going to call on Toyo. I'm going to call on, so many who are part of the Cinco de Mayo. So, I think it's something that can be really beneficial to all the businesses, but also to, the Unión Cívica Mexicana, which is at the heart of the Latino community in Saginaw. So
definitely count on me, Larry. I appreciate everything you do, and the Civica does. You guys put us on. I said that from the beginning. The Civica put us on and put us out there, gave us a platform, and that was like my first event. And
well, thank you. Thank
great
you.
sense, so I appreciate it.
Pauline Cap is on here. She says, thank you for serving us at our Diaz family reunion. Corn was amazingly delicious.
You're welcome.
And Jesse Alvarez is saying, go get them. Come to you from Chancla Construction. Jesse.
Construction.
And then Ronnie Garza, probably a relative as well. Congrats, James, on your new adventure. So proud of you. So you've definitely got that following. You have tried different elotes, and we kind of hit on it a little earlier. Different concoctions, whether it's with the fruit or the corn. What has been pretty popular within your repertoire?
The two is probably the OG. That's just our original cheese, butter, and mayo, cayenne, a little bit of chamoy, but that hot Cheeto, that one's really popular. And like I said before, some of these flavors wouldn't really hit or wouldn't really be that popular if it wasn't for social media. And I'm not even on TikTok, but my daughter is, right? So she tells me all the new trends, and she tells what's popular, and she's going to be running my TikTok for me for Cop King. So that's what I noticed, that that's gotten real popular, and that's a good one for us is a hot Cheeto one as well.
And that TikTok is really important for the younger generation, especially. And these kids today, they really know how to make them very attractive, those TikTok videos and all. But there's a lot of the older generation, the baby boomers, are now on TikTok, I've noticed. And, I think that any entrepreneur who started a business, it only behooves them to be on that platform. And it only behooves them to be on any different platform, whether, Facebook or Instagram or what have you. The more you're out there, the more you put yourself out there, the more successful I think you're going to be.
Oh, you got to have that social media. That's how the reach. I mean, I don't know. That's what worked for me. And I really look into it. There's sometimes I put ads out there, and I look at the demographics of it, and it shows me it breaks it down for you on some of the ads. It'll tell you the age group. And I think my audience is 80% female. On there, so I switch a couple things up. My colors, I went from purple to hot pinks, and to make it look attractive. My it's like a tropical theme. That's what I'm going for. So it worked for me. It worked for me. Social media is definitely a great tool for your business.
Well, many years ago, I remember having a 10-year birthday party in Gomez Palacio, Durango, in Mexico, and my family threw me a party over there, because I still have relatives over there, of course, on the Rodarte side. And I remember it was like a street party of the neighborhood. And you had the iglesia, the church there, piñatas. And I remember them even having corn on the cob then, I mean, so this probably goes pretty far back. It's probably a real staple within the Mexican communities. And then, of course, it immigrated or what have you to, of course, Texas and the Tejanos. And from there, we have, immigrated to Michigan, so many of us. And I know that down in Detroit as well, in Southwest community, I've seen some elotes selling there. And, so we're fortunate to have you, James, that you brought it to Saginaw, to the Great Lakes Bay region, because 15, 20 years ago, we didn't have it at all. And so it's really nice to have that as another staple, if you will, or another addition to the festivals like the Cinco de Mayo and now the Latin Loons Night.
Right.
And so it's really making an impact. And Teresa Gomez, she's saying on here, yes, let's all get together just like back in the days. Vargas, Olvera, Garza, Rodarte, and many more that established businesses in our community from their heart and hard work. It gave our youth someone to look up to. Oh, that's a nice comment, Teresa. Very good. Do you know Teresa?
Oh yeah, I know Teresa.
Yeah, and I know Joanne Vasquez, because that was the introduction.
Yeah,
I think with you and I, it was
my wife's aunt. Yep.
Oh, that's her aunt. Okay, and that's Casal's aunt as well. Yeah. So and Jenny, all of them girls have been a part of the Union Civica. So that was really nice. Carmelita, she's saying she's one of these ones that hides her name. Carmen Jakes is her name. Looking forward to him opening up at the SVRC. And I'm really excited about that too, because I think SVRC has got some really good businesses in there. El Faralito's in there, another long time entrepreneur in our community. And is there any other Hispanic businesses
inside there?
Yeah.
No, I think that's it.
So you're going to be a big addition to that. And then you've got Valerie's across the street, so we're coming into our own in downtown Saginaw as well, and Dolores Cassell, she says, what are the hours of the SVRC so people will know?
That's a good, it's 10 to 6, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday to Saturday.
So
and that gives me 3 days to still hit the streets and hit the events. So the answer, somebody had a question earlier about if I was still going to be doing a Cop King, will still be out doing events those 3 days, 3 days off. And Friday Night Live, I think, is what we have coming up next.
Yeah. And you're gonna have a big following drawing and people asking you, can you come out to these parties or whatever? Because I'm telling you, the Diaz one went over so well. The Diaz reunion, I was surprised, because I don't think we announced it too much, but the moment we said, okay, you can get your elote now. I mean,
line up.
The line. I was like, dang, man, I glanced over and it was so long, you had so many people. And I said to Cassell, I said, oh man, look at how great he's doing. And she says to me, cuz you can't just go up there like you do Cinco de Mayo. And I'm like, why not? And then I didn't, out of respect, and I didn't go up there. And then at the end of the tell me what happened. Tell my audience what happened, because at the end of your shift,
when I seen Larry, I said, you know what, I probably got to get him an elote, because I looked behind me and I seen the line. I was like, oh, we're probably gonna run out. And sure enough, he comes around and that cooler is dry.
And I said, hey, where's my elote? Sold out.
Right.
Again, because of Cassell. We mess with each other so much, and I know she probably felt bad.
Right. But I thought it was a little funny. Some of the ladies like, oh, I need 3. One's for me, one's for Mijo, and one's for Tia. She can't get up right now. I said, okay, we'll just give it to her.
Wow, yeah. And Cassell says on here, it was like 45 minutes, 100 years. And it seems longer because, I kept looking over there and, saying, okay, when can I get mine in there? When's that line going to go down? And then I got busy with something else and I never got to get in that line. But, it's so funny because, we're all a part of this community, so many that are in the room. And, we're excited for you, because we know that how good and delicious the corn on the cobs are. And, you add that Mexican flair to it. And, this is just another aspect of the Mexican culture, just like the ballet folklorico dancers, just like the música and the patitos. And I mean,
Patitos.
we're just adding, to the mix, and, able to share in our culture. And we're very passionate, and we have a lot of pride in all of that. And so,
For sure.
we're presenting this, of course, to our Latino community, but it's also to the greater community of Saginaw and the Great Lakes Bay region, because, I think, as I have pushed on this show so many times, the more diverse we are, the better we are in our communities. And so, I'm so glad to see all that happening. Wait till you get invited to Frankenmuth, and you're going to be out there doing elotes, and so that's going to be really neat. What's your feeling today, and what's next for Cop King?
Like I said, I'm excited, and I really appreciate everybody following us and showing us a lot of love, coming to shop with us. I'm excited, and I think we're gonna really do well in the SVRC. Like we spoke about earlier, I hope to bring everybody a new audience out there to come shop and come see it. There's a lot of great vendors out there, and it's a really, really nice, clean establishment. It's super nice in there. I couldn't get over how brand new everything looks. And there's always a lot of things going on there as well. They just had a night market yesterday, and I wish I was already set up. I think there was people waiting at my empty booth, trying to come see us. So yeah, there's always events happening there.
Yeah, and I love how the SVRC is bringing bands for the summer to play, and that's what you're referring to yesterday, because one of my cousins was the drummer in a band that was playing last night, and so I love seeing that. Jennifer Marie, she's saying on here, I can't wait to get a strawberry or horchata with what is it?
Boba balls, bubble tea
at the SVRC. So you're doing horchata as well?
Yep, I actually have that tomorrow. I'll have a cucumber limeade, and we do a strawberry horchata. And we use I do fresas con crema as a topping on there. I think you pulled that picture up earlier. It was the pink drink. Fresh strawberries with the crema cream on top, and I hit it with some whipped cream, and then we put the boba balls that have strawberry flavored in there as well.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, and horchata is, that is a very popular drink in Mexican culture, coming from Mexico, and all different kinds of flavors. And it's like the rice pudding is probably the most popular, I think, in many of the restaurants and all. It's a rice, kind of like a rice pudding drink. That's the closest I can explain to the listeners. So I mean, it's going to be really good. We have somebody here, Lorenzo Cortez, who says, watching from San Antonio, get it, bro, in law. Oh, okay, another family member.
Renzo, yeah, big Renzo. Yep, he's got a lot of family here as well. I was at Chantakas, I think that was it. Yeah, I think he might be related to. Okay, so he's got a big family, the Cortez family.
Okay, and Jay Martinez, he says, don't forget about me. We had my spot popping too in 2020.
Yep.
Okay.
That's when we first started off. We were posted up there on Michigan at Jay's corner.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that. And I actually walked over there on my daily walk and ruined my diet, because I decided I was going to go in full blast with the Cop King. Yeah. So that's neat. And we also have Val Blanco saying long-term own restaurant. She's asking if you're going to own a restaurant.
Oh yeah. So I forgot to mention that. That's the goal there. That's the brick and mortar. I think the closest, there's one in Indiana. I just heard. I follow a big vendor spot in LA, La Michoacana Plus, and it's like a Chuck E. Cheese inside that thing. But they have all the fresh fruit, the frutas, the Italian ice, the elotes, and there's one in Indiana, and I know they get the same kind of weather as us. So that's, like I said, if they can have it there and here, why can't Cop King have one here in Saginaw, a brick and mortar, where we can enjoy all these Mexican snacks? And like I said, once we get in there, I got pickles and hot Cheetos, I got chamoy, I got all these different flavors I want to do and different things I want to bring to the table. So this is just the beginning for.
Isn't that exciting? That's exciting. I know, for the community to hear about this. We've got a lot of people on the social media live stream. Rosalinda Garza says, we love Cop King. God bless you. Yolanda Garza says, can't wait for those Italian ice mangolados.
Yeah,
so another
mangonadas.
something else. I mean,
Mangonadas,
how are we
yep.
supposed to, understand all this terminology, all these different
that's the
fruits
thing.
and flavors? I'm already hungry.
I was talking to my wife. I was like, we're just gonna have to come up with our own names because I'm not gonna explain this to every customer, especially ones that are not familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
But that I could say that strawberry horchata, that's made from scratch. That's not no pre-mix. Like I'm soaking that rice with the cinnamon sticks overnight. You know what I mean? With the water.
Yeah.
Like we're going. That's from scratch.
That's so good. That's so good. And I do want to give a props out to your wife, Ana Garza, because I saw her working really hard at our family reunion to serve everybody. So let's make sure we give her the props up there as well.
Yeah, she's the real boss.
Yeah. And Cassell says you need to just come up there and try, Larry. So, I'm inviting the whole community. Let's go out there and support Cobb King as he makes this introduction to SVRC Marketplace, which is, that's a great spot. We as the community of Saginaw, the Great Lakes Bay region, Midland, Bay City, that's a beautiful facility that has a lot of, like James said, great businesses, and we need to support it more. We need to come out there because it's a part of the Great Lakes Bay region. And downtown Saginaw is continually there with different restaurants coming in, and SVRC is behind that in promoting these businesses and giving the opportunity. And not all of them have worked, since their opening. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, 2018, was it? But there's no problem with trying, and so I'm wishing you luck, James. I really hope that this kicks off, and like I say, it's going to change the dynamic there, because there's going to be a lot of people looking for that Cobb King endeavor with the elotes. And so that's a new term. It's spelled ELOTES for the greater listening audience. Elotes. Yes. So Jennifer Marie says, do you do private events, James, or just for family?
Oh, well, we do private events.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Any good business person would, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's awesome that you're doing that. Mary Setkowiak. How do you say her last name? Sekoviak. Mary Sekoviak. She says, love you, brother. Good luck. So we want to thank James Garza, the original Cobb King here. He's in the house with us. Thank you so much for coming out and telling us and explaining to our listeners what an elote is, because I think this is one of the great things coming to Saginaw, and everybody's going to be looking for it. So thank you so much, James. Any last words?
Thanks for having me, and thanks for all the support. Well, we'll see you tomorrow at the SVRC.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Again, another edition of Mi Gente on Air, where we promote Latino culture, Latino concern, and also Latino contributions. Thank you again. We'll see you next week. Hasta luego, everybody. So, Angela Blanco says, one of the best shows. Congratulations, James Garza and Larry J. Rodarte. What do you think, Jonathan Dent, sitting over there, my producer, who's doing so well here at WSGW?
What are the hours again?
10 to 6.
10 to 6?
Wednesday to Saturday.
I'm coming out for lunch tomorrow.
All right.
Like,
we'll see you there.
That's great.
You
That's
got me
great.
hungry.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think in regards to this? Because this is really something new to the greater community.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've never heard of anything like it. But you're talking about all there is. I'm like, wow, this sounds amazing. I could.
So Jonathan is the producer here. He produces my show and the Farm Show, and he's also an anchor for it as well. And last week I brought him a patito, and why did I do that? Oh, because I was working that day, and you had me come in and do some
we just
promos
had
for the show.
Some quick recording to do.
Yeah, and he texts me back a little later, and he says, wow, I've never had one of these. These are amazing.
It was great.
So you're just totally getting immersed with this Latino culture. What do you think of that?
I'm all about it.
Because you're from where? The Thumb area? No.
Well, yeah.
You're all over.
Yeah, I grew up moving from state to state every year, but mostly in the Midwest, rural Midwest. So I've never really been exposed to this community, this culture. And right now I'm up in Standish, and there's not a huge Hispanic community up there.
We got Tony's Tacos. That's
Tony's
about it, right?
Oh, we love Tony's. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Jonathan, you forgot to tell me to put
I
the
did.
shirt up for
I
the
did.
family reunion, but this was one of our family reunion T-shirts. Mama Cecilia, she was the matriarch of the Diaz clan, the Diaz family reunion, June 25th, 2022, and it says nothing but love, and that's all we had there this Saturday. Nothing but love for each other, and in the midst of having Cobb King as well. So thank you all for tuning in. Cassell again says, I prepped that dinner for him. What is she talking about there?
I don't know.
and Juanita Rodarte, she says, congratulations, James. See you Thursday at SVRC. Can't wait. So they better be ready at SVRC, because I think it's going to be a big. Yeah, are you actually having a ribbon cutting ceremony?
So like I said, we're gonna do like a soft open, get all the kinks out, probably for the next week and a half. I'm waiting on my Italian ice vendor. As soon as that hits, then we're gonna have a grand opening. So I'd say within the next 2 weeks we'll have a grand opening.
Oh, wonderful,
Right
wonderful. Okay, so Cassell, what she's clarifying there is the Petito dinner. She prepped that for you, Jonathan.
It was fantastic.
Cassell, you are all over the place. I don't know what you're doing, girl. So you have to clarify. But everybody, thank you so much again for tuning in. It was a great show. It's one of our very own from our community, especially for me, because Bridgeport Bearcat, I had no idea. I thought you came from Mexico and you immigrated to Texas, and then your parents were, and here you're from Bridgeport, just like me.
Gardens.
Yeah, from the Gardens. So thank you again, everybody, for tuning in, giving the support, the love. And, we really appreciate the support so that we can continue on. And thank you to WSGW for giving us this platform, 100.5 FM and 790 AM. And we'll see you again next week. Adios.
Thank you.